light the beam again. And I can tell you one person who didn't like it one bit. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on Undisputed. I'm Jen Hale. Welcome, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. How are we today, guys?
Good morning, Jen. How are you?
Just getting old. I just keep winning cases of Diet Dew, Breakfast of Champions. Another case.
But Draymond got ejected.
So, are you using that as your excuse this time?
Oh, so now it's so.
That probably should have been a good thing for your team.
No, that wasn't a good thing. I get it back.
Yeah.
I get it back tonight or tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
Because you go bet against the Lakers
We got
sooner
a
or later.
long way to go in these
I just
playoffs.
might.
A lot of dew is going to be exchanging hands.
Yes.
All right, gentlemen. Let's start with that Draymond storyline. Adam Silver sitting courtside for that one. Shannon, did the officials get this right? And should Draymond now be suspended on top of that ejection?
Skip, they got it right. They definitely should have ejected him. I mean, he took that Kurt Franklin stomp a little too far.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, Skip, when I saw it, I was like, man, Draymond's gonna get suspended. But I think the only thing that might save him, because what he did wasn't a basketball play, but neither was Sabonis grabbing his ankle. And because they assessed him gave Sabonis a flagrant foul,
a technical foul,
yes. I think that might give Draymond a reprieve of not getting suspended.
Yeah.
But Draymond said he's not flexible. You sure did a great job of kicking Steven Adams once upon a time. You got your leg up real high to kick him.
Yep.
I guess over years, we do lose some flexibility as we start to age, Skip.
Yeah.
He said, I needed to land my foot somewhere. And he says the second time, because I think they got intertwined the first game, Skip, and Sabonis might have pulled Draymond down. Draymond pulled him down.
Malik Monk grabbed his foot and held on to it in the first game.
Right.
Go ahead.
And then him and Sabonis got tangled up.
They've been getting tangled up like every other play.
They have. Because neither guy is willing to concede any stretch of court.
Agreed.
Draymond's not going to back down. Sabonis knows that, and Mike Brown has told him, you got to meet force with force, because he's been around Draymond for an extended period of time. He knows what Draymond's trying to do, trying to get in Sabonis' head, and Mike Brown said you can't allow him to take an inch because he'll take a mile. Yeah. And so Sabonis is standing his ground. And De'Aaron Fox had a variant, says, I think it brought us together. We huddled up like, we have to win this game. Everybody we knew thought he'd be ejected.
Yeah.
What happens usually, the teams come together and they goes on a run. We were able to negate that.
Negate that. Yeah.
Will he be suspended? Because I think I'm going to say no for the simple fact there wasn't a basketball play that Sabonis did. Sabonis grabbed his leg like he's playing football, Skip, holding on for dear life because he knows if he lets him go, he's going to score a touchdown. So I'm saying the only thing that saves Draymond in this situation, plus, Skip, they're down 0-2. Do you really want to suspend? Because we've had this happen before, right? Having him suspended he got suspended in a playoff game, in a finals game. So it's not out of the stretch or the realm of possibility that he could be suspended for a first-round game, although it's game 3, and that definitely would put him on life support if they were to lose that game. So I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say he doesn't get suspended.
Okay. Let me start with this.
Okay.
I still run into people occasionally who say they don't like the National Basketball Association because they don't play hard or they wait until the last 2 minutes to play hard.
Right.
If anybody watched that game last night, stayed up late enough in the East Coast, or for that matter, the West Coast, to watch it from start to finish, you will not see humans play harder.
Yeah. Playoff basketball, you definitely know this is the playoffs.
Hey, these two teams went at it from start to finish.
Yep.
It was as physical as I ever saw games in the 80s. It was as physical as Boston and L.A. in the 80s, where they just got after each other without the rules to protect.
Right.
The rules got pushed all over the floor. The refs tried to stay out of the way as much as possible, and I thought they did a pretty good job of staying out of the way.
Well, in the 80s, that's not a foul. What Draymond did is a bonus.
Heck no.
Or it's a common foul at the least.
But I just want to honor the game because it was a contest.
Yeah.
It was a classic battle of will, skill, and physicality.
Right.
Because there was some head banging going on out there, and Sabonis took some real shots. Some of them were accidental. One time he got his head, he hit off Steph's sort of thigh, and he got kicked in the head. So he'll be a fairly sore young man when he wakes up this morning. He'll feel almost like he played in a football game last night. Okay, now back to how they called it. We got to start from the start, because there was a play about 3 minutes earlier in which they got into it and went out of bounds. And Steve Kerr challenged the foul call on Draymond and got away with it, which I didn't think he should have gotten away with, because I thought it was a little bit cheap on Draymond's part. If we could see the first incident that precipitated this one, they go out of bounds. And then I don't know if we're going to get the full play. See, he backs into him, and I think he knew he was backing into him and knocked him down so that he couldn't come up the court. And they challenged this and got it overturned, which shocked me, because I did not think it was accidental on Draymond's part. I think he backed into him and kind of butt checked him and knocked him back across the out of bounds line. Okay, so they got away with that one. Sabonis didn't like it. Sabonis is a high IQ player. His father obviously played in the league, and he knows all the tricks of the trade. So now we come to the incident in question. Was it a dirty tactic on Sabonis's part to grab hold of his foot or ankle or whatever he grabbed? Yes, it was a dirty tactic. I'm not going to say it was a dangerous play, because I don't think Draymond was in any danger of hurting himself. It didn't put him in a precarious situation or position. But the point is, he did grab his ankle in plain sight, and the ref saw it, and that started it. But Draymond can't finish it, even though emotions are running hot and high and heavy. You can't finish it with an Ndamukong Suh memorial stomp, because he stomped. Now, did Sabonis oversell it a little bit? Probably he oversold it, because I thought he was going to die on the court.
Well, he got x-rays after the game.
Okay, he did. And I give you that. And they say he's fine, and I hope he is. But it was a flat-out stomp.
It was.
So if you're going to stomp, you're going to be gone. And then here's why I'm 50-50 on the suspension. Draymond did what he did at Memphis in Game 1 last year. He just lost it. He went Looney Tunes as they were reviewing the play. And it gets a little clownish. It gets a little bit over the top. It gets a little bit out of bounds, and he's egging on the Sac fans, and they're chanting all kinds of derogatory chants at him, profane chants at him. And he got up on his chair at one point, and his cup in his ear, like, let me hear you, louder, louder. And it got, there he is. He's screaming at the crowd. It's so crazy. Okay, yep, they all are. But the point is, the commissioner was sitting in like the third row. So he is firsthand witnessing all the above. I don't think they love this. Because that's a bad look for the game of basketball. All right. And we know Draymond's got a podcast, and you know all about that. And he
did he do it last night?
I don't know if he went. And Memphis, remember, he spoke to the media last night. Remember at Memphis in Game 1, he got suspended. He left the arena and went straight back to his hotel and went live on his podcast. Okay, that's, as he calls it, the new media. But last night he did speak after the game. Okay, so I'm with you. Like, my heart is saying he should not be suspended, because Sabonis, in this instance, he initiated. And Draymond responded, and he responded completely out of bounds. But the point is, you got to give him a small break here, and I do. So my heart is saying that. My head is saying that he has such a long track record of this kind of behavior that he did get suspended before a Game 5 of the NBA Finals, something I never thought I would see. And I do think at that point he was far more valuable to the Golden State Warriors than he is at this stage in age. To the point that when he was gone, your team was down 3-1. I thought that was the turning point. And for them to say, that's enough, Draymond, but in that game, he yelled the B word at LeBron, and then he goes down to the other end and they get tangled up, and he kicked LeBron in the man region. He hit him. He hit him. He just hit him. That's right. He didn't kick him. He hit him. Okay. And after what he'd done to Steven Adams, and there were 2 or 3 other high, rockhead kicks, right? And finally, Kiki Vandeweghe said, the Minister of Justice, he says, that's enough. And I was shocked, because I never thought that in an NBA Finals, it would go to the point where you would take a key player, not just any player, but a key player away from a team that had a 3-1 lead, and you know the rest of the story. They never could get right.
Right.
Okay, so now to the quote that you read from De'Aaron Fox, because I'm going to read it one more time just to drive home the point, because this is the essence of what happened in this game. Okay, if we could see it again. He's saying about Draymond getting ejected, that brought us together. We huddled up and we're like, we have to win this game, especially because everybody thought Draymond would be ejected. When that usually happens, that team comes together and goes on a run. We were able, as you read before, to negate that. Negate that. Well, usually with Golden State, this would be a detonation, and he did dap up everybody as on the way out and made a grand exit. And I thought, okay, here come the defending champs. And Shannon, it went the other way. It took a while because the defending champs did come back to tie twice. And there was Steph had a little finger roll 4-footer with 5:32 left, so the game is tied at 95 all. And from that point on, without Draymond, not only did it not inspire Golden State, it inspired the home team and certainly the home crowd, and they go on a 19-11 run that ended it. Okay, now, what is happening down the stretch of this game? Well, in the fourth quarter, Steph Curry is missing all 5 of his three-point shots. Well, listen, you know and I know, and everybody knows, he's revolutionized the game. He's the greatest shooter ever. And in the end, especially in a fourth quarter, in a game of that magnitude, in a place that's so hard to win with a team that has already lost 31 road games this year, now 32, they're going to lean heavily on Steph to make threes. If he makes 2 or 3 of the threes, we're having a different
Especially if a couple of those. I mean, he had some great looks. He had some great looks. If one of those, you feel like if one of those fall and they could get the lead, you're like, okay, here go Golden State.
What's the quickest way to silence that crowd? It's just to shoot them right in the heart. So could we see the 5 threes that Steph took and missed in the fourth quarter last night? All of them crucial for the Golden State Warriors. Here are his 5 threes, okay? It's a pretty good look for him, and he missed everything. Wow, that's Steph Curry. Then he gets a pretty good step-back look, and he was a little long left. Then, well, that's a hard shot, but he usually makes those, and it was just long. And then here we go again. In fact, this is on that Davion Mitchell, who's tough for him to beat, and he's wide left. And then we got one more try here. And that's a force up. It's a desperation, and that's another. Okay, so 2 of the 5 are air balls. Okay, De'Aaron Fox was taking him, Monk would take him, and Davion Mitchell, the second-year kid from Baylor, who is a defensive stopper of a specialist, was taking him. And Davion is so physical, and he's built so stout that, and he's so quick side to side. Steph's having a hard time. Now, Steph did a lot of damage from 2 because his best shot in the fourth quarter was just to get up and under and get in the lane and shoot little floaters, right? Okay, but he misses all 5 of the threes. And then when he missed his last one, this is, with 2:29 left, then guess who comes back down on the other end? He hadn't been lethal in the fourth quarter, De'Aaron Fox, the best fourth quarter scorer in the NBA this year. He gets a wide open 3, and to his credit, he nailed it. And this is the one that put them up 6. Okay, so Steph is going to try. He's going to try. He's going to try. And then, okay, there's the shot from Steph, and it's going to come to the other end. And De'Aaron Fox is going to wind up with an open 3 on the kick.
Well, he walks. He's the trailer.
Yeah, he's the trailer, and he steps in, and I think Peyton tried to run at him, and it was too late, and that made it a 6-point game. And then guess who? Davion Mitchell, not known for his offense especially, with 117. This is the dagger, right? He just rips it, and it shocked me because I did not see this one coming, because this is ball game, if we could see this. Davion Mitchell in the corner, boom. And that's all she wrote. Okay, so now, big picture on Draymond. It's funny how this year started and now it's coming to a close with everything swirling around Draymond. Obviously, as we all know, he punched his teammate Jordan Poole in the face, practice. Somebody leaked the video, still very curious about and suspicious of that. And yet that cloud, to me, has hovered over this team all year because it's incomprehensible to me how great they've been at home and how abysmal they've been on the road.
Right.
Again, 32 losses for a defending champ, including the 2 playoff losses on the road.
Correct.
It feels to me like Draymond's not working for Golden State anymore. It feels to me like he won't be a Warrior next year, like we're seeing the last hurrah of Draymond Green. It feels to me like whatever great culture they had, and they had the best culture in the league after San Antonio, after their dynasty had ended, and it feels like that it's coming to a close for Draymond Green.
I mean, we kind of felt that after the punch. I mean, we felt that we saw a changing of the guard. All of a sudden, the big three was not going to be the big three that we thought it was going to be. Steph, Clay, Draymond. All of a sudden, the big three started to be Steph, Clay, and Jordan Poole. Some people surmised that that's what he was about. He's like, hey, I got my bag. They're not going to give you the bag, whatever the case may be. And for whatever reason, Skip, you're right. They haven't been able, for a defending champ, and Steph to play as well as he's played. And I get Andrew Wiggins was out a month, 2 months. But October, November, December, January, they were still terrible on the road before Wiggs went away to deal with whatever he had going on. So don't make this about just Andrew Wiggins, like, oh, if we'd have had Wiggs. No, you weren't, because you were terrible on the road while he was there.
I agree.
And so, Skip, you're probably right. This probably the end. I'm not saying it's the end of Golden State, but it's probably the end of Golden State with the core that they've had in place for a decade.
I agree. So all you need to know about last night was Sacramento starters in a big, it was a crucial home game. If you lose that one, all of a sudden Golden State's back in control, right? Going home. Their starters last night made 4 of 23 three-point shots. 4 of 23? Well, if I'd sat here yesterday and told you that, you'd say, that's it. Lights out for Sacramento.
They started the game like 0-10, didn't they?
They did. And they were all horrible. And I'm looking at these numbers. And De'Aaron Fox was 2 of 10. He just made that big one at the end. And Herter was 2 of 9. And Harrison Barnes, who made a bunch of big buckets down the stretch, he was 0 of 4 from 3.
But you know what, Skip? Although De'Aaron Fox did not shoot the 3 ball, but in the fourth quarter, that 2 ball was going for him. He could get, man.
He makes those little.
That joker is cat quick. They don't have, in GP's the second, he's a great defender, but he can't stay in front of De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox gets to wherever he wants to. He gets the little floater. He gets the little mid-range. Skip, he's just sensational. And my concerns with the reason why I picked Golden State, I said, I understand being clutch in the regular season, but can you be clutch in the postseason? Are you seasoned enough to be able to execute down the stretch when it matters the most? We know Golden State can because they've been in this situation for the last 7, 8 years all the time. And we know how they work this thing out. But Skip, this De'Aaron Fox, Skip, I ain't seen anything like it. I mean, you go back to the greats and what he's doing, and he's not a superstar like we look at Kevin Durant and LeBron and Steph and KD and Kawhi. In the fourth quarter, when they need buckets, good luck stopping him.
When he pulls up from 8 feet, he just stops on a dime and goes a little bit backward. You just can't. You can't stop it.
He's shooting it so high.
I know. He's shooting
raindrops.
They are rainbows. And he made 5 of 9 shots in the fourth quarter and scored 11, and they were crucial. Every last one of them. Harrison Barnes' 8 points were crucial. Not threes until the one big one at the end. But the big picture of this is, how did they do this shooting 4 of 23? Well, Steph went 0 of 5 in the fourth quarter, and guess what Golden State had last night? 20 turnovers. 20 turnovers.
And guess what they also had? Skip, fouls. They foul a bunch.
Okay, well, that's why for the 2 games, Sacramento shot 16 more free throws. And I'm not saying that the whistle's going bad for Golden State. It's going good for Sacramento because they're initiating.
Yeah.
They are the ones who are attacking. They are as Steve Kerr said after the game, they were the aggressor.
Yep, they're 28th in fouls committed.
Yep.
Only the Timberwolves and the Pistons are worse. And you wouldn't think that.
No.
But they are a team, but Skip, because they lack perimeter defenders.
Yep.
Clay is not the same defender.
He's not.
There's nothing wrong with his shooting stroke, but he can't sit down in the chair like he once could because there are times he would take De'Aaron Fox.
He would.
Not Wiggins.
I totally
Steph.
agree. Totally.
Excuse me, Clay.
Clay.
But now, Skip, they have, and they really. But I'm not surprised they turn the ball over, Skip, because they pass it so much. It's not, Skip. It's like they pass hot potato. So eventually, that's going to catch up with you.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Skip. They in trouble. They're in trouble. I know that we don't worry. We go home, get in front of our crowd. But I'm telling you, Sacramento.
Yeah.
They didn't get a whole lot of love, Skip. They play, you got the Lakers and you got the Warriors and the Clippers a little blended in, especially since Kawhi has been back the last, 2 months of the season. And so they've kind of flown under the radar. But they're the third seed for a reason.
I'm with you. I had to see it to believe it, see it in action.
Yeah.
I just saw it twice in a row.
Yeah.
Golden State's in trouble.
Yeah.
And now the key record is that Sacramento on the road this year was 25-16. That was the best road record in the Western Conference.
Yes.
25. Do you give them a shot to win one of these two? Because
Absolutely.
if they do, you want to talk about being in command?
Yeah. What if Draymond gets suspended? Well, I think you give them. If they get suspended, I'm going to be shocked if Sacramento isn't favored if Draymond misses Game 3.
Yeah. Right now, Golden State is favored by 7 at home. So,
what?
So the odds makers are saying Golden State's still better.
I want some of that.
You want some of that?
I want some of that.
Yeah. You picked Golden State to win the series.
Yeah, but I haven't picked no 7 at home.
Woo.
They're not. And Skip, it's not. And I get it.
Golden State's been pretty invincible at home. That's why.
But hey, what you call Sacramento's been pretty invincible on the road.
They have. I agree. Whew. What a series.
It is. Jaren Fox is making a name for himself.
He is. Yeah.
I got one for you that makes this series even better. My good friend, a great journalist for ESPN and Anscape, Mark Spears, now reporting that Draymond Green says that right ankle that Sabonis grabbed is sore. He's asking for X-rays on it.
Oh, Dray, come on, Draymond.
Stop it.
Yeah, for real. He say,
Stop
see that? Hey, I got to get X-rays on my ankle. Hey, you can't suspend me, you can commit.
That's what that smacks of to me.
Man,
I'll
Draymond.
keep you posted if those X-rays actually happen. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.